Right, you are live.
Ready? Okay. Good afternoon. Mark Kleiser, Planner 2 with Planning and Building Department, and I'm calling the May 10th, 2023 Archaeological Commission to order at 2:01 p.m. only to announce that we are going to pause and come back at 2:15 to allow time for other commissioners to attend. So we will see everyone back here at 2:15. Thank you.
Or we're waiting for somebody?
Yeah,
Bill and
Bill and
Lois.
Lois.
Oh, gotcha.
That doesn't look like Rob.
You went to the hairdressers earlier.
If you need to spread out.
No, sorry, I don't
That's
mean to be
okay.
crowding here. Just trying to get my ducks in a row here.
Hey, why is that one lady showing up as Rob Fitzsimmons?
I think Rob forwarded her the link,
Oh, really?
like his link. I think he just forwarded it instead of telling her to just click online.
I'm like, okay, that doesn't look like Rob.
That's what Liam said.
We're good? Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Mark Kleiser, Planner 2, calling the May 10th, 2023 Archaeological Commission back to order at 2:15 p.m. I'm going to conduct roll call. Planning and Building Services is myself. I am here. Museum representative?
Here.
Archaeologist representative?
Here.
Native American representative?
Here.
And alternate representative?
Here.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2, Archaeological Commission Administration. The applications listed below will be reviewed by the Archaeological Commission. You are invited to view the meeting on YouTube and provide any information pertinent to these applications. If you have photographs of the site, you are encouraged to email them to the above email address by 2 p.m. on May 10th, 2023. And moving on to item number 3, survey required section. The first item, 3A, case number is CDP 2015-0038. The owner is Todd Miller, also the applicant. The request is an administrative coastal development permit to construct a new single-family residence, garage, deck, well, septic system, and authorizing temporary occupancy of a travel trailer while constructing the dwelling. The project is located in the coastal zone, approximately 1.5 miles north of Casper, on the northeast side of Mallory Drive, approximately 600 feet north of its intersection with Gibney Lane. It is addressed at 16421 Mallory Drive in Fort Bragg, assessor parcel number 017-38054. And do we have anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item?
It appears we don't have any members of the public here for this item.
Okay. I see we have Planner Liam Crowley in attendance, and do we have the owner, agent, or applicant present? No? Okay. Okay. Planner Crowley, any notes to the commission before they begin?
No comments. I'm
Okay.
available for questions.
Okey-doke. So then, turning it over to the commission then for discussion.
Just a sort of a procedural question. Do all private construction, home construction now require this kind of archaeological or, I mean, it used to be that if it was private land, nobody cared. You built a building and that wasn't it. Or is this a coastal?
It's a coastal. Yeah. Well, projects in the coastal zone do have to.
Yeah, they have pretty
Yeah.
strict rules out there.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I noticed the property borders a wetland. And Northwest Information Center says that it has a moderate possibility. I guess because it borders a wetland, I would probably recommend a survey.
I would agree with that assessment. Commissioner Lockhart, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Dick, any thoughts?
Well, I just had the same concern Bill did, but the other thing that really hit me in the face, well, it always does when I open the information, is just that there's so much pollution there already. I mean, if there was anything, it's probably buried 10 miles deep. So, and if you notice the allotments, how they're spread out, that is like, that's the last one that's going to be developed. Is that due to the wetlands concern, you think?
Now, number 13, box 13 says no for water courses, fish streams, sand dunes, rookeries, marine
What
mammal,
page are you
haul
on?
out. It's, they aren't numbered.
What's this?
Number 13,
Okay.
The application?
in the application, yeah, the coastal development permit application questionnaire, but they're not numbered.
Yes, they have checked no.
It says, within 100 feet of the project, and it says no. Now, that doesn't say wetlands, but,
This is an issue.
oh, it does say wetlands. It says no.
Yeah, they say there's none.
I think that might have been checked by the applicant.
Oh, okay,
and they
so
were
none
un-
of this is
They might have
been
been
checked.
unaware that there was a wetland, but there
Well,
is.
if you're near the ocean, it's gotta be some water somewhere.
And according to the, wetland maps, there is one bordering the property.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to.
Tribal people are common sense thinkers.
Yeah, the last page, the map, there's a wetland map.
Okay,
And it does say on their site
oh, it
plan,
overlaps it, yeah.
their site plan notes that development's gonna happen approximately 195 feet from the creek.
Okay.
Well, I made my decision.
Any more comments from the commissioners?
Well, You know what? I had my map all laid out and I looked at my clock and I said, oh God, I gotta get out of here. And I totally ran up and forgot it. And then in the meantime, it spilled water on my watch and my, anyway, it's one of those days. My father, Chief Monkea, always spoke about Casper a lot. That's why I wanted to bring that map. So I'm just concerned that there just might be a spot that, has been overlooked because no one really has interrupted that area. And the whole town, the whole area of Casper was, Rockport, clear down to Fort Bragg is gathering areas. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are we ready for a motion?
The motion being that they need to have an archaeological survey?
Would you like to make that motion?
Yes,
Okay.
because it overlaps several environmental groups.
Okay, so we have a motion then from our alternate representative commissioner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Cole?
We're recommending a survey, right?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, archaeologist representative?
Aye.
Museum representative?
Aye.
Native American representative?
Yes.
Alternate representative?
Yes,
And PBS is a yes. Motion carries 5-0. Survey is required with the discovery clause.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item, thank you, Liam. Item 3B. Case number is CDP 2022-0027. The owner applicant is Penelope and Daniel Alaya. The request is an administrative coastal development permit to construct a single-family residence. And the location is in the coastal zone, approximately 1.6 miles south of Little River and 500 feet east of its intersection with State Route 1 and Carson Hill Road. It is addressed at 33850 Carson Hill Road, Little River. Parcel number is 121-140-12. And do we have any from the public wishing to speak on this item?
No members of the public, but I do have the owners.
Okay. And that would be, Penny Alaya?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, thank you. So before we let the commission discuss the item, do you have any comments to make?
No, sir. I would leave this up to you and my husband and I will gladly accept your recommendations.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I see we have Planner Dirk Larson here for questions. So with that, then we'll open it up to the commission for discussion and questions.
Why did we get another copy of this same report?
The newer recommendations from Sonoma State were not in the old one. So there was recommendations from 1989 in the previous packet, and we updated the packet with the new recommendations from, I think, just this year.
Yeah.
Okay, because the two ones I got are both the same.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, there should be a new Sonoma State referral in there that recommends, excuse me, that recommends additional survey on the property.
Yeah, they contradict each other.
They do. But I'm just noting that as
I've noticed that at times. Some
Well,
information-
that's a lot of years to go by. That's like, what,
Right.
I mean, I'm
89,
sure.
23.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I get it. I see it. Yeah, okay.
okay.
So back in '89, they said it was a low probability, and now they're recommending that there is a probability.
Correct.
I would imagine they've added a lot of recorded sites in that 35 years or however many that is.
Yeah.
I have a sort of a practical question, I guess. So we have these sites that are an acre or less. It seems like you could have one person come out and like hit all these different places, and it would share the burden of the cost, and it would, I mean, doesn't that seem practical? To have, instead of, 5 people driving up to Mendocino County to survey an acre,
Right. No, I agree. I think it would be.
you tell somebody, Sonoma State or something, that we've got all these projects that are requiring archaeological survey, can you lump them, into one job?
Oh, possible. I mean, if the applicants all hire the same archaeologist, I don't see why that.
Or become aware that they can do that. I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna think that they can do it. I mean, it seems like that where they're coming from, if they're coming through Sonoma State, that Sonoma State would say, oh, by the way, we have 2 other projects that we're sending somebody up, to survey. Would you like to have them look at yours, and it would be this cost or whatever?
It's something we could discuss
Yeah.
with Sonoma State.
Sonoma State doesn't do that. Sonoma State is just,
The study center. Have it.
Yeah, it's just-
Have it.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut.
it's just a center for information, so.
Right.
uh,
It's just an old habit.
But,
All the archaeologists are independent contractors.
Yeah.
but regarding this specific project, then,
May I add
Yes.
an administrative footnote here? According to US Code 25, there has to be a government-to-government relationship. And that's what I see lacking throughout this whole scenario of Mendocino County Planning and Building and Archaeological Commission. And I, as the oversight chief of staff here, and then we wouldn't have to go around, march through the desert for 40 years, going around the same hill, We'd have progress. So this is something that we might put on the back burner and consider at some point in time, have a really worthwhile, serious discussion where we kind of move forward, bringing partners together.
yes. Agreed.
But then again, Bill made a certain point, of course, it's the economics of, you have a degree to do this job and da-da-da. But yet, however, at the same time, there are these cracks in the pavement.
Yeah, I think we will address that in the future.
Yeah.
So any
Yeah.
questions to the applicant regarding this?
It's standard procedure for the archaeologists to consult the tribes. And Northwest Information Center recommends that to contact local tribes in their, when the Planning Commission turns the report into Northwest Information Center, the Northwest Information Center always reminds them to contact local Native American tribes.
Mhm. Then they say, well, no one returned our call.
So any questions of the applicant or the planner, or any items for discussion on this project? I see that with the ground disturbance, I would recommend a survey myself.
These are both the same.
Okay, I make a motion that CDP 2022-0027, that we recommend a survey and with the discovery clause.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have Commissioner Johnson. So I have a motion by Commissioner Call, seconded by Commissioner Johnson to require a survey of project number CDP 2022-0027 with the discovery clause. Okay, roll call then. Museum representative?
Aye.
Archaeologist representative?
Version of an existing barn. Oh, aye.
Native American representative?
Yes.
Alternate representative?
Yes.
And PBS is also a yes. Motion carries 5-0. Survey will be required with the discovery clause. Thank you, Penny, for attending.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Dirk. Okay, that brings us to item 3C. This is use permit U 2023-0003. The owner is John Fetzer, the applicant is Mark Taub, and the agent is Stephanie Strawhacker from MH Architects. The request is conversion of an existing barn into a 2-story facility for transient habitation lodging limited with 5 guest room and other improvements. The project is located approximately 1.4 miles north-northwest of Hopland Town Center on the west side of a private drive off the northwest end of Hewlett and Strudavant Road, approximately a half-mile northwest of its intersection with Road 112A. It is addressed at 11704 Hewlett and Strudavant Road in Hopland, assessor parcel number 048-04002. And do we have anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item?
No members of the public here to speak on this item.
Okay, thank you. The planner is not present, but I see there's someone here for the project. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Stephanie Strawhacker, and I'm from Matt Hollis Architects.
Thank you, Stephanie. Do you have any comments for the commission before they begin discussion?
Well, firstly, the owner is actually Mark Taub. The claim that John Fetzer is the owner, I think it's just a delay in records.
Okay.
So I think they purchased the property maybe 2 years ago, and that the records have not been updated in the database yet. But John Fetzer is not involved in the project. He was the previous owner.
Okay. Thank you. Make note of that. Okay, and then I will turn it over to the commission for discussion. Any questions of Stephanie?
How old is the barn?
We don't have, we were not given any records of the barn, but we do believe it's from the late 1800s.
Okay, so it may need an evaluation by an architectural historian.
Understood.
Stephanie, may I ask what you will be doing to the barn in the reconstruction? Will any of it be coming down?
No, they would like to retain it as much as possible. Right now, so the barn is not in its original state. I don't know when improvements were made. We think in the 1980s. But so there was an attempt to have it be like a space for other uses than barn use, so agricultural. So there is like a bathroom and a kitchen, and there is a new second floor, so it was safe to go up there. So the intent is to keep everything that is there now, but to make it more structurally sound. We did have an evaluation from structural engineers that would require us to make some improvements, but the original structure would remain. The only thing we would be adding some additions to the exterior footprint, but none of the original footprint would change.
Okay, thank you.
So what kind of ground disturbance will be going on?
Ground disturbance, I would say minor ground disturbance just for the excavation for new footings, but it would be put back. So we are not taking away grade, except for there is like a wine cellar. So right now, out in the back of the barn, there is a raised man-made kind of elevation so that it would meet the second floor door. So we would basically kind of go in and inhabit that space. But I don't believe that's natural landscaping. I believe it's man-made. But that's the only kind of excavation that we would be doing outside of the excavation for the footings.
How about septic?
So you're excavating for a wine cellar?
Yes, but it's already like an above ground kind of mound that was built to reach the second level by foot. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre.
Commissioner Johnson, you had a question
Oh,
about septic?
how about, it says you have to, new septic system.
Yes, we do have a civil engineer that is involved on other parts of the property, and the winery on the other parcel has a huge septic issue. So the client is scarred and wants to make every provision possible to have a septic system that can accommodate the uses. So we don't have it planned yet. We thought it would be a little bit premature to do that before we get planning approval, but we do have that on the board.
So there will be more ground disturbance besides the footprint of the barn.
I guess we could assume that. We don't know what the existing septic system looks like. Yes, that would be part of the civil engineer's exercise.
And for the new paving and accessible parking, is that going to be in an existing driveway or roadway and parking?
So there is an existing driveway that kind of goes around this structure. We would like to have accessible parking in the existing parking lot and have it cross over. But if we needed it to be closer to the building, we wouldn't want to pave it. We would do some paver situations so that the landscape is still retained.
Okay. So no additional ground disturbance for driveways or parking or anything like that?
No, we're trying not to. So we would only do it when required by the building permit, the building department.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Dick, Commissioner Lockhart, any questions or concerns?
I wish we had a better look at the topography. It's the map, the location map is doesn't really show us the terrain and what creeks or streams are there. I bring it up.
We do have a surveyor that has been on the ranch for 30 or 40 years. So he has provided us with all of his surveys. He does have this area surveyed. There is just very flat. So he hasn't done additional work out there.
There
Yeah,
is, I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Go ahead.
Remind Commissioner Cole that there is a estimated slope map in the packet for this project. The second to the last page.
Oh, estimated
Well,
slope.
The shape of the project shows a canyon with an obvious stream running through it down to the valley. What stream is that, and where is it going into? What's it going into? Is the Russian River, is it going into the Russian River?
Yeah, that would all be part of the
Most
Russian River
likely.
drainage. Where is the barn in this outline? It's kind of a big triangle.
Is that the parcel?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe, yeah.
Is it the silver rectangle?
I don't see what you see.
Photo?
Do we have, can we share screen? If you don't mind, we can share, or Lindsay?
No, that's a different building. So it's gonna be in the sliver. Yeah, it's over there. So there's a residence there with a tennis court and a pool. And then it's so okay. So do you see the white square? There's like clearly a white square. Yeah, that is not it, but it is across from the driveway, kind of where the black line is going. So it might be obscuring the building itself, but it is in there within like some tree coverage. So it's a little bit hard to find, but it's right across from that white house, kind of tucked away, like to the left a bit.
We don't see any houses.
I'm going to be pulling up that map in just a second here. Oh, it's Commissioner Lockhart.
You know, the McNabb Ranch area is I don't know if this agency has documented or not, or Sonoma State has, but, you know, that's a very sensitive cultural site on McNabb Ranch.
Well, it's a very sensitive area. Yeah, it was heavily populated by Como, that area, so.
This is where
She said it gave her
Sinel Valley,
goosebumps.
Sinel Valley and the hills come together.
Okay, I'm going to share screen. Let me know if you can see it. I'll announce it when I have successfully shared it.
Go to Zoom. And then share screen at the bottom.
Oh, here.
And then click on the.
Okay, can everyone see this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the map that we were referring to, and Stephanie, if you want to help drive here. Oh, here we have the plan. Oh, this is nice. This would have been nice. Let me find that one map that we were referring to. Sorry for making anyone dizzy with this.
Yeah, so I think the one on the right, the enlarged vicinity plan, if we can get a grasp of where the barn is here, then we can gradually zoom out. So you can see the tennis court. So it's aligned with the tennis court, right where it says barn.
Oh, so here's the barn. Okay.
Oh, no, like the pointer, the leader is pointing to the roof of the barn. So a little bit to the left here, if you can follow, yeah, down.
Down a little.
Oh, here?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the barn.
Okay.
How far is that from Highway 101?
If you go to the left, you can see 101 running vertically down the page. And then the driveway for Saraceno Winery is, yep,
Right here?
right there. And it's just a straight shot from that.
Oh, there's the
I
barn
don't know why it's not screen sharing for YouTube.
Oh, I
Oh, it's
see.
not.
there. And let's see, where's the Russian River? to the right or left? I'm confused.
She's running this way.
It's this way. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's east of 101.
Maybe a half mile from
I think so,
101,
yeah.
something like that. So it's right at the edge of Sunel Valley and the hills.
What age, is this for homeless people? I mean, what agency is providing the funds for this?
Saraceno Winery.
It sounds like it could be transit habitation, but it's like guest houses for events and things like that.
Correct.
Oh, so it's not for homeless people? I mean,
no, no.
No.
Not unless
Yeah, I was
you
just
have a
curious.
lot of money.
events. Oh, okay, so, well, I mean, we could recommend a survey for the areas of ground disturbance, i.e. the septic system and the barn location itself.
So any ground disturbance?
Just a thought, anyway.
So, Bill,
Yeah.
I'd like to add, if you're going to make a motion to recommend a survey, I would like to add potentially if the archaeologist has the capacity or the ability to determine if that barn is of historical significance. And if so, possibly recommend mitigation or rather conditions that would keep it undisturbed.
Right. Let's see. The Rob. Is that Rob?
Well, no, that's Stephanie, but it says Rob on her screen.
Oh, okay, Stephanie. What kinds of alterations have happened to the barn?
Well, it's hard for me to say because I don't know what the original looked like. But there are some very large doors that don't look to be suitable for an agricultural purpose. So on the front facade, there are 2 pairs of doors, and they open up to a dining room, which does not have a floor. And then there is a raised floor beyond that with a kitchen. And then there are 2 other pairs of doors that go out to the side yards. And then there is a stair that would need to get replaced because it's not to code, but it's like it's a beautiful stair. There's a lot of the finishes are kind of items that John Fetzer had collected. Some of them are like the wine pallets with the holes in it. So there's a lot of like interior partitions, which we would probably remove.
I'm a neighbor, so I'm not gonna.
But it's still very rustic. It has like stone, like the concrete trim walls, some stone finishes.
What was its historical use?
Sure, but it's the same neighbor. I mean,
I believe it was an agricultural barn, but we don't have any record.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come get you.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's all right. I don't know the procedures.
I'd like to announce that Commissioner Johnson is going to be recusing herself from voting on this item as she lives in the neighborhood. So we continue conversation then.
Well, that's too bad. Would have been nice to have her input. Oh, yeah. Well, an archaeologist generally would be aware of the condition of the barn and how much has been added over time. And he, a good archaeologist would know whether he should have a historian, an architectural historian look at it or not. And if we had an archaeologist go out there, he would recommend that if he thought it was necessary or not. So
Okay.
I guess we could just stick to the ground disturbance and the what do you call it? The septic system area. I look at that and then leave it up to the archaeologist whether he thinks he needs an architectural historian.
Okay. Commissioner Lockhart?
Yes, Bill, I want to call your attention to the cover letter dated March 13th, 2023. Study number 25927, Clarity 2002, including the proposed project area, identified one or more culture resources. Did you catch that?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Thank you. I'm glad you're on top of it.
That's my duty.
Yeah.
And based on the evaluation of the environmental setting and of features associated with known sites, Native American resources in this part of Mendocino County have been found in areas to close proximity to sources of water, so on and so forth, which we know. And since this is near the edge of the Chenal Valley floor, which leads us to Hopland Rancheria, and then due to the passage of time since the previous survey, we recommend, this is California Historical Resources Information System saying this, due to the passage of time, we recommend qualified archaeologists conduct further archaeological and field study for the entire project area to identify any unrecorded or archaeological resources.
Okay, there you go.
There's our motion.
So
Okay, I recommend.
sorry if I can ask a question. So that report is saying that this region or overall area is of importance, but this specific part of the area has not been recorded, so they would like somebody to go in and record it because the overall area has been identified of importance, but this specific area, no one's reviewed it. Am I interpreting that correctly?
That's correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing then, we're recommending a survey of the area that's going to be disturbed.
Yeah.
And so let me try to make a motion then. So I motion that we request a survey for this project with an added determination by the archaeologist of the barn's historical significance. So,
all right, can you say that? Can you say that again? It clipped out, so it didn't get all of it.
okay, so I'm going to make a motion to require a survey for for use permit 2023-0003 with a determination by the archaeologist of the barn's historical significance. So we're asking the archaeologist to make a determination if the barn is of historical importance. Yeah, to second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Second by Commissioner Dick. Okay, then roll call.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking we should have the air. I'm kind of thinking that we should have the property surveyed. That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Okay,
Just
then.
because it's in a heavily occupied Pomo area in Hopland. And
Okay,
it would be a chance. Yeah.
Then let me just make a quick motion then to retract the previous motion. And do we have a second to retract that previous motion?
Lockhart, second.
Okay, second. And so now, Commissioner Call, the new motion, I want to make sure I capture that.
I think because of the sensitivity of this traditional Pomo area, that we survey the property, which
Okay.
includes
So the entire property?
yes.
Okay. So we'll have a survey of the entire property. And did you want to include then the archaeologist's determination of the barn's historical significance?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion by Commissioner Cole to survey the entire parcel with the added determination of the barn's historical significance made by the archaeologist. We have a second?
Lockhart, second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lockhart. Okay, roll call. Museum representative,
Aye.
archaeologist representative,
Aye.
Native American representative.
Aye.
Alternates representative has recused herself. The PBS is an aye. Motion carries. Okay. All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to say thank you, Bill, for, because I was debating, I was kind of hesitating there because I have family members and I myself have walked that area of McNabb Ranch, not in its entirety, but from McNabb Ranch off of Highway 101, South Ukiah, to Hopland, Rancheria or Hopland Township. There are areas that the old people were concerned about, but never could get anyone's, meaning county, get officials' attention regarding things that happened there. So I just want to say that for the record.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 4, review of survey. First item is 4A. This is case number CDP 2022-0021. Owner applicant is Hassan and Deborah Gamlouche. The agent is Deborah Lennox. The request is a standard coastal development permit to construct a single-story home, a single-story 1,886 square foot single-family residence with a 360 square foot deck. The request includes 2 water tanks, a generator, septic, development of existing well, demolition of shed, paving driveway with concrete, a fence, gate, gravel walkways, path lights, and utility line from the well.
But there's no information
There's an entire packet.
other than the first.
Oh, no, she's,
Excuse me, that's what I call jargon, application jargon.
Okay, sorry about that. So the project is located in the coastal zone, 5.5 miles north of the town of Gualala, on the west side of State Route 1. It is addressed at 33300 South Highway 1 in Gualala. Assessor parcel number 143-05006. And do we have any members of the public wishing to speak on this project?
We do not have any members of the public wishing to speak on this item.
Okay. And I see that Deborah Lennox, the agent, is here, and also the owner.
Yes.
Mr. Gamlouche,
Who is that guy?
he's the owner.
He's the owner?
Can you hear us? You have yourself muted.
I can't pronounce his
I
name.
can hear you, but I noticed that Stephanie was on video. Am I supposed to be on video?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, that's fine with me. I'm good with that. So yes, so Deborah Lennox, the agent, is here, and I guess Deborah and Hassan are also on this call.
Okay, do the owners wish to speak to the commission? Do they have any comments?
I had a correction to the application, just the square footage on the language of the agenda. It says 1,886 square feet. The actual square footage is 1,428. We're limited to under 1,500 square feet for this project. And then the deck got a little bigger, so the deck was 458 square feet.
Okay. Thank you for that. So any comments from the owners or the agent before we bring it to the commission for discussion?
No, I just want to thank the commission and the county for helping us with this project. We've been at it for about 3+ years now. We conducted a lot of studies, including the last few biological studies. So we appreciate your time reviewing the project. It's a very small residential 1-bedroom for myself and my wife to move on into our retirement years in the very near future. So we thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. And we will then bring it back to the commission for discussion.
Okay, so there's no coastal access at this site. It's pure cliffs.
It is, yes, cliffs.
Just a comment, anyway.
There's a lot of ground disturbance.
Yeah.
Septic tank, well, building a fence. Will their water tanks be on top of the ground, or will they?
I believe they will be on top of the ground. Is that correct, Deborah?
I think so. At this point, we're still doing a little bit of moving elements around because there's a lot of setbacks we're dealing with, and we haven't gotten confirmation that we need 2 tanks. So at this point, considering the constraints and the very small building envelope that we have, that is the best location for them to be above ground on the southeast corner. However, they could possibly go underground if we need to move them further from the south boundary.
And Deborah, I just want to clarify, was there an archaeological survey on this project done?
No.
Okay,
No, not that I know of. I think
All right.
you told me that we should come to the commission and have a look at it, and then
Yes.
if it was recommended, we would move ahead with the archaeologist.
Okay, so just for clarification, this item should have been item 3D, and this will be in the survey required section. So we'll just move it to there. So we're making the determination if a survey is going to be required on this project.
I have a question. Are there any existing buildings on the land?
There's a very small shed right on the edge of the cliff. Oh, I'm sorry. How to make that stop. Anyway, yes, there's a very small shed. Maybe Hassan would know when it was built. It's probably from the 60s, would be my guess.
Okay.
That was even later on when it's an illegal shed. It's the previous owner who constructed the shed when he was planning his trips to Alala during that time to store his kayak or whatever he was using down on the beach, and spending the night in a tent. So it has no significant value whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
There's pictures of the shed in the book, in our book. It's very tiny shed.
Yes, and I've been to the parcel and I will concur, it's a very small shed.
It just says, it, you know,
If
they
you look,
wanted you to
if you
look
look,
at it.
if you look at the soil bearings towards the end of the report on plate 10 and 11, at 4 feet, you have a tan orange sandy clay, and 2.5 feet orange silty sand. Which could be used to determine that we don't have any midden and we don't have any soil development. So, I mean, I don't know, it's just something to think about. In terms of it, we can tell from their borings that it wasn't an occupation site. If it was, it would be, the soil would not be orange.
Okay.
It would be black. And just something that, it's another piece of information that we don't, usually, I mean, not all reports are this extensive.
No, the biology report part of this is very extensive.
And what does that say?
Oh, I couldn't read it to you really fast. It's a whole bunch of pages about everything that's growing in the area.
Uh-huh.
There must be about 30 different species listed on just one page. So more than it goes on to the second page. I'm just saying it's very thorough.
You're talking about plants?
Yeah.
So when we run out of food, we know where to go.
I think that it'd be useful for somebody else who's doing a study on the coast to have access to a report like this.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Any more questions to the agent or the owners? Or are we ready to make a motion?
Well, okay. I mean, I've done a couple of surveys down there, and it's that sandy orange clay soil, and there was the surveys that I did. There was no sign of anything. So I mean, I would kind of have a tendency, and besides, it's the cliff, so it's not like convenient beach access. I would have a tendency to probably not recommend a survey, but that's just my 2 cents on it.
So that would be following the recommendations made.
Yes, there would be the standard discovery clause would still apply.
Okay, I agree. That's a
What did Sonoma State, is that in here? What did they have to say about it? I don't see
They
their
said it has the
letter.
potential for unrecorded sites, but that it has a low possibility. And they don't recommend any further study, and that they contact the local Native American tribes and any historic preservation. That's why I asked about the shed.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound like that's anything, so.
And the project was
So-
referred to local tribes, and we have no comments on them.
Okay. So I
Okay.
think, looks beautiful, beautiful space.
Commissioner Lockhart.
I have a thought, when I read through this originally, the thought came to me, my father, Chief Limkea, didn't speak too much about Gualala or South Coast. We were more Central Coast and northern part of the county. But I just wonder, I just, curiosity, if Sonoma County's Archaeological Commission has a member of the Kashaya tribe, which is really kind of like the neighbor to Gualala, if they might have some background information they would like to share with us sometime.
Well,
Do you know, Bill?
well, yeah, I'm just trying to think of the process. I mean, somebody should reach out to the coastal tribes. And I don't know, I mean, do I have to hire an archaeologist to do that? Or can't the owners do that? Or have they already done it? It seemed like Mark was saying they already did that.
We reached out to, or staff here reached out to Redwood Valley Rancheria, Sherwood Valley Band of Poma Indians, and the Cloverdale Rancheria. Typically, we will get comments regarding coastal projects from them saying, reach out to the Manchester tribe or a coastal tribe. We did not receive any of those comments. We can refer to those tribes and then bring this back.
Yeah, I think we should reach out to
Kashaya is very I know
to
the
Manchester
tribe.
and, Lois, what
Very,
are the
very
two? What are the two over there? Manchester and, where Essie Parish lives?
Yeah, that's Kashaya.
Kashaya, Manchester.
Shire.
That's Kashaya.
Okay.
And then Manchester.
Yeah, we should reach out to those two.
Okay, so then I will make a motion on that then, we'll just continue this item rather, it's not a motion. So we'll continue this item to a date certain, which will be the June meeting, which will be, I don't have that.
June 14th.
So we'll continue this item to June 14th. I will reach out to the tribes, the Manchester tribe and the Kashaya tribe, and bring back comments at the next meeting. Okay?
That's good, thank
All
you.
right.
Great.
Oh, do
Yeah,
we have a
appreciate your,
second for that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think,
So,
yeah, I think that's really, I think it's really good for us to do that.
okay, so I made the motion that was seconded by Commissioner Lockhart. I'll just take a quick roll call. Native American representative? Is that Lois? We're voting on that.
Sorry.
Yes, okay.
I was deep in thought here. Yes.
Yes? Alternate representative?
Yes.
PBS is a yes. Museum representative? And
Yes.
archaeologist representative.
Aye.
Okay, so we will continue this item to a date certain of June, did you say 8th? No.
June 14th.
June 14th, I'm sorry, with the comments of the two tribes, Manchester and the Kashaya. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So this brings us to matters from staff. I had two items on here, and these are going to get moved to the July meeting. At that time, Brian Much from Sonoma State will be here, and we will talk about his process and how the surveys are read and how his recommendations are made.
Awesome.
Okay?
That's really
Then-
cool.
Yes, I'm excited.
I appreciate you doing that.
Okay. Then moves into item 6, matters from commission. Any matters from the commission?
Well, were we gonna talk to Sonoma about possibly opening up some training sessions?
I think it's something we could certainly discuss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to discuss that, because some of this just
Training.
seems like, I'm speaking as
Training.
not as an archaeologist now, but just as a land owner who doesn't have a lot of money, that some of these things, they just add a whole nother cost to a project with a low probability of something happening, or that is gonna happen over time, and you don't have somebody standing around.
Right.
You know, you've got a backhoe person, or just the recommendation that if you find something, stop work is sort of open-ended. know.
I don't think Commissioner Call, you weren't here for that part of the conversation. You want to tell him your suggestion?
We were talking about, like, a lot of things, you want a tribal observer, and maybe they could have a training session where they learn to recognize like a surface archaeological site or the condition of a midden or something like that, so that they are a little more prepared to monitor the work that's going on, instead of having just a flat archaeologist has to be there. Or it also occurred to me that you could have students who are training to be archaeologists who could get credit for coming up and monitoring some of these situations and be paid expenses, mileage or meals or something like that, and then they could do some of these monitoring for low probability kind of things. Just a possibility. The people who run the archaeological, they make their living doing this, they probably wouldn't like that, but.
Well, archaeology right now is finally beginning to firms are finally reaching out to tribes for monitors, and they actually there have been trainings for tribes for archaeological monitoring.
I like that.
So, I mean, that's something that's growing at the moment.
It's up to an individual company to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other matters from the commission?
I have some comments.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
There's
Commissioner Lockhart, then Commissioner Cole.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. My concern, and has been for a number of years, which I was totally unaware of this map, and I think this is a grave, grave disjustice to tribal people, that there are maps and sites about villages, which I knew about because my mother told me
Just from
when I was a child. But I had never seen the documentation until I became a member here, or part of the commission, a commissioner, excuse me, not a member, commissioner. So consequently, what I'm getting down to, and again, it comes back to money. Tribes do not have money to develop a archaeological or monitoring site section of their tribe. The Bureau of Indian Affairs Department here, Congress does not want to go there. You know, we've given the Indians enough money and they don't pay taxes, blah, blah, blah. It's still that undercurrent. They're sweeping it under the table nowadays, but it's still there. Point being is that if the tribes, maybe shut that off. If the tribe saw this leadership, and I'm talking myself as a former chairperson, as a former tribal council person, as a former person who got involved on the ground floor in regard to developing the administrative format and planning to develop my own tribe that was never terminated, I was very, very angry when I saw this. Oh my God, it's like, you're my real mother and you never told me? You know, or my grandfather's buried there and I've been walking over his grave for years, you never. For tribal people, it is cultural it's a major no-no. My mother talking. You never walk over anyone's grave. You never go into an area that our people consider sacred. But how can we know this? How can the outside community know this if they're not involved in the outside community? So the only way is when something comes up, like I'll have to go back to North State Street and the Rose site out there. My brother worked for Kenny Cumser, so I know what I'm talking about. And so the point being is that having a training and having the tribes involved, leadership, and we have to go with that because that's coordinate rules of order. And then the younger generation coming up that are interested. It's because we have to approach this with as much patience and grace as possible. Because it's not cool, it's not nice to keep information.
Except that, you know, this map that you're looking at is over 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the ethnology people learn when they talk to living people.
I know that.
But, I mean, I haven't done archaeology really in a long time out of Sonoma State, but even in 1970, with David Perry and David Fredrickson, we worked with the tribes. This was not hidden information. This was not kept away as a secret. So it's really just a question of
who you're talking to,
or how it gets spread out, because this is old information and it's information that's been readily. I mean, it's, you know, you can go to the bookstore in town and buy Krober, and the map's in the back. I didn't
have money to go to the bookstore and buy the book.
No, but I'm saying that it's not secret information that the archaeologists have clung to, or the anthropologists have clung to.
When I worked for a local tribe and I made some phone calls because I wanted my younger generation to see so that they could develop their self-esteem and to give up drugs and alcohol and to focus on a higher learning. I was told I couldn't see it. I was told it was confidential information. And they didn't tell me I could go to the library and find the book.
Oh, it's not, I mean, it's in a published book from Kroger. You
Well,
know? I gave you a copy of it. It's
Yeah.
in the back of that. I mean, it's
Well,
not.
see, again, I must say, you know, as a former welfare working mother, I didn't have money to go buy a kind of a book.
No, but I don't know who told you that it was like privileged information, because it's not.
Well,
Well, what's privileged information is the site records.
Yes.
well, that, then evidently the person I was talking, this was regarding a THP. And when I made these phone calls, and this man said, oh, we can't give you that information.
Yeah, well, the THP, that would have been CAL FIRE, right? And they are required by law to consult with tribes.
Well, when I made my phone call in 1995, they weren't, I guess, Bill. That's what they told me.
Yeah, that's what it was like in '95. It's consultation bills have been passed since then. AB
Well,
tribal consultation, AB 52 is
Yeah.
one of them.
That made a difference.
I think this would be a good topic to have when Brian is here.
Right.
Yeah, at Sonoma State, because
That's
True.
Yeah.
So this will be a good
Okay,
conversation.
I have one thing.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed recently with some organizations, I know Humboldt State is doing this. When they start a meeting, the first thing they start out with is, and here's an example of what we could do. We acknowledge with respect the Pomo people on whose traditional, ancestral, and unceded land we live and work, and whose historical relationships with that land continue to this day. And I wanted to recommend that we begin our meetings with this very thing, that we acknowledge with respect the Pomo people on whose traditional, ancestral, and unceded land we live and work, and whose historical relationships with that land continue to this day.
Is Mendocino entirely Pomo?
No.
There's no Yuki or.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we would have to say Pomo, Yuki, Hutchnome, Wailaki.
Or just.
Bill, I suggest to say
The Native American.
tribes of Mendocino County.
There you go.
Bill, can you email that to me?
I'll give you my copy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right, great. Any other matters from the commission? Commissioner Dick? Nothing. Okay. Then with that, I am going to motion for adjournment of the Archaeological Commission at 3:23. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye, Bill.
Yeah, this was an exciting